Hey, welcome to another episode of Tribesmen. Yeah. I know, before y'all get started, I gotta get into a little ad break. So, we here at Tribesmen strive to change the perception of the XL man, and one of the ways we do that is by advertising for brands that support the big and tall man. So, if you're an entrepreneur or a business that wants to promote, make sure you hit us at podcast@xltribe.com so we can assist you in all your needs. Now, for our listeners that want to support us, you can support us on our Patreon page or directly on the Anchor page where the podcast is hosted. That's another way you can support. On top of that, if you want to support in another kind of way, I myself, Kirkland, do take photos. I take really good ones, if I must say so myself. So if you want to get a photo shoot done or a website built, or if you need some styling tips, I do assist with that as well. If you need that done, you can always email me at podcast@xltribe, and I can definitely assist you with those as well. Or you can go to the site xltribe.com/shop, and you can book any of my photography service, my styling services on there as well. So now let's get into the episode. Hey y'all, I know I've been going too long, but welcome to another episode of the XL Tribesmen podcast. I'm back. I think it took me this long to come back because I had to find inspiration. I don't want to just come on here and talk a bunch of mess. So I'm back, and we're gonna jump right into today's topic. So today I've been seeing this image float around of this mannequin, but it's a plus size guy mannequin, and I've been seeing a lot of different things on it. So actually, I'm about to pull it up on my phone because what I want y'all to tell me, I'm actually gonna repost it. So when this episode comes out, you guys will actually see it. But I saw some people making a little fun of it, and I was like, why do you think this is funny? I mean, now granted, they probably was laughing because the mannequin is dressed really poorly. When I tell you really poorly, like, first of all, the mannequin is wearing a shirt that looks like it's 3 sizes too big for him. And then they pulled it back and like tucked it in the back, so it's like hugging him in the wrong way, or the wrong way because it's not his size. And so I wanted to talk about the mannequin because I feel like there's been so many feelings about it. And actually what I've been trying to figure out from the photo is what store has this mannequin, because really I want to go in the store and commend them for actually having a mannequin that looks like us. I think it's difficult sometimes. It's difficult because a lot of times us big guys, we don't want to try on things. We don't want to go into the store and put things on. So having a mannequin that wears our size would be helpful for a lot of guys to just be able to pick the size that they actually wear and take it home. Similar to how, in the past, if you're a smaller guy and you go to a store and the mannequin generally wears like a 30, 32, I think. So if you wear 30, 32 and you walk in the store, you see how it fits on the mannequin, you have a pretty good idea, a pretty general idea of how it's going to fit on you. Well, now the bigger guys, us, we finally have the same thing to aspire to, because we too, as big guys, are aspirational, believe it or not. So that was the one thing I wanted to talk about with the mannequin. I wanted to congratulate them. I'm sure as more conversations come about, I want to hear more. First, like I said, I want to find out what store is actually carrying this mannequin, because I really do need to applaud them for that. Because I think that's so important. And I think that dives right into my next topic, which is something I wanted to touch on because this week I've been, hearing a lot of people talk. And the one thing that is common is bigger guys finding their daily confidence. And I will tell you guys, believe it or not, I don't wake up every day confident. I don't always feel like the shit every day. I don't. Some days I just feel like lingering around the house doing nothing, being an unproductive human being. Some days I do. And I think for me, even when I try to do it, it never actually works because I have so many things to do. It's kind of like, all right, Kirk, how long you gonna sit here and do nothing? All right, I give you an hour, watch this TV show, but after that, get up, get to work. So for me, it doesn't work that long because I have so much to do. But I do try. And how I find my daily confidence, really, I'll tell you something. I look myself in the mirror and I say one thing I like about myself, or I'll say one thing that I'm proud of that I've accomplished with my own hard work. And that usually helps a lot in finding your self confidence, is boosting it daily. It is hard as it is, you have to do it because in terms of of thinking about how you need to feel daily, for you to be the most productive person you can be, you have to feel good about yourself. Because when you're negative, when you have negative thoughts about how you look, how you feel, you only project that into the world because you're usually angry, mad, or everything you see is from the most pessimistic point of view ever. So you need to get more positive thinking. Learn how to train that little voice inside because everyone has that little voice inside. Whether you listen or you don't listen, it's there. Whether you can hear the voice or not, it's there. And it's always directing you and where to go and what to do. And I like to tell people you have to train that voice to be a nice person. Because a lot of times I hear many people say that their voice is negative to themselves. It tells them, oh, you don't look good today, or you fat, you ugly. That voice has to be trained to talk good because that what you're hearing is not yourself actually talking. It's others people voices that you're hearing telling you that you start to believe is yourself. So what you've done is internalize other people's voices because your own voice does not speak that way about you, about it yourself or itself in this situation. So look in the mirror, tell yourself daily positive affirmations that will help in the way you feel, starting to feel better about yourself. And so we'll take I just wanted to feed that out there into the world. I feel like my job here at XO Tribesmen podcast is to provide you some small getaway from whatever's happening out in the real world, because I feel like I want to sing. I'm gonna sing all we need is love. Love is all we need. Like, that's for real. Anywho, I'm gonna jump right into the next thing that I want to talk about today. It is so I've added a new, I feel like I want the show to have a flow to it. So this is the first time you guys are going to hear it. You guys can tell me what you think about it. Also, I want to do a weekly post on Instagram. So if you have a small, big and tall business of the week, I love to big them up. Because we need more visibility and it has to come from us. Because other people aren't going to big up our businesses the way we're going to big up our businesses. So I want to talk about the Winston Box, which is a company that's really near and dear to my heart. because they were actually one of the first sponsors of the XL Tribe. They reached out to me. They was like, hey, we want to work with you. We're a little, we're just getting back on track because we just launched. This was when they just launched. So the Kickstarter had just been funded, and they were overwhelmed with the success of it, because they didn't know, or I don't think they anticipated that so many men would find the Winston box to be the greatest service ever. So they was like, okay, as soon as we get all the orders fulfilled, we'll go ahead and send you out a box. And they sent me that first box, and I was in love. To this day, it's actually the most viewed thing on my YouTube channel is the Winston box first look, where I actually was opening it for the first time on camera. And that, like I said, is still my most viewed Instagram post to date. So I want to give the Winston box a shout out because they're dope. And I do have a promo code for you guys. So if you shop with the Winston box and you use Kirk15, you should get $15 or $20 off your first box. I'm not 100% sure about the percent, but the code is Kirk15. And now talking about the Winston box leads me right into my actual motto of the week, which is none other than Phoenix Captured on Instagram, or Phoenix.captured. And he did a series of 6 Instagram posts actually wearing the new collection of the Winston box, so it kind of tied in perfectly today with the topic. So this is something new I'm adding to, where I'm doing the big and tall motto of the week. I figured, like I said, just like the brands, if they aren't highlighting us, we have to highlight us, because I need us to win. And so that only happens by me, keeping my ears to the ground, to the streets, as they say, quote unquote, and seeing what's new, what's going on, and following the models and the trends that are taking place, and, covering it here on XL Tribesmen podcast. I'm excited again. I don't know. I felt like I was a little unexcited about the podcast for a while, because the format that I always wanted to do it, I never feel like I've met that format yet. I still feel like I want a co-host, just for the energy that comes with someone else in the room, and their own, like, to have another big and tall male voice would be really dope. So the big and tall motto of the week is something new I'm adding on top of the small business of the week. So you guys tell me what you think about that. Like, I'll do a weekly post for this as well. So I'll ask you guys to be tagging your favorite models and your favorite big and tall small businesses, and I'll be highlighting. I'll pick one of each per week, and then I'll be featuring them on the podcast. So, like I said, this week's small business is the Winston box. And this week's big and tall model is Phoenix Captured on Instagram. He's a really dope Instagram influencer that I like. He's actually my personal friend. I like him. He's dope. He puts out great content. He doesn't play about his content. He takes great photos. He really represents for the big and tall guy, and that's what I like about him. So I know it's been a short one, but this concludes the episode of the XL Tribesmen podcast. If you guys have questions for me, I want to start taking some questions too. So if you want questions, I would love it if you guys would email us at podcast@xltribe.com, and so we can start answering some of your questions here. I would like to start, diving deeper into topics, so it doesn't have to be about fashion. I'd like to talk about, like, personal issues that you're going through that relate to being a big and tall guy. I love to get into those, because those are the topics that'll really, really push the envelope forward. Because clothes is on the surface level. I really want to start talking about the issues underneath the clothes, which is the man himself. I feel like that will help elevate us as a people. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions, you can email podcast@xltribe.com and I'll answer them. I'll try to pick one every week and answer. So, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of XL Tribesmen. My name is Kirk. Peace out.